Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Hi, guys. Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Wow.
Happy Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
I love it. Joelle, what's up? Julian, Matt.
Chuck
Tracy,
Zamzow's in the house.
Ashley, Jennifer,
Chad and Amy.
Katie, Tracy.
Wow.
We don't have Shane tonight.
Shane.
We're missing the nonsense commentary.
It might be a little bit more boring tonight, guys. Shane's not here, you know.
I wouldn't say we're not boring.
We're not?
No.
Oh, okay, good. Checking
I'll
in.
say less inappropriate.
Why isn't... Oh, I was just tripped out for a second. I said, why is Natalie even Marie on?
That's because I told you guys last week I'm going to start, because I really enjoyed the last 2 weeks being in the chat. Oh, it's your foot.
So Natalie is online and she'll be chatting.
Yes, I'll be chatting with y'all too, because I want to be all up in the mix.
from the desk.
Yes.
So, a couple of little
Chad is feeling lost because normally Shane is like leading the way, and then he usually like steamrolls Shane, and then he's able to do his thing. So,
yeah. But I just wanted to give a couple little quick announcements because you guys show up every week, and I want you guys to be the first to at least know about our new merch. Although we did talk a little bit about it, Natalie and I are both wearing our new Solon crew neck sweatshirts.
no hood.
No hood sweatshirts.
Shane is here. He is. Uh-oh. Yikes. Oh no, I better not say anything bad.
So we have a brand new website coming out. Should be done next week. So these will all be available online. I'm going to give all of y'all Recover Out Loud family the first option to buy them, of course, with a nice, healthy discount code that we're not going to give the rest of the public.
Yes.
We got T-shirts as well, all made by Solon Clothing. That's solonclothing.com. So check them out and support them as well, because it's actually all that Shane and I wear. The Hopeaholics is sponsored by Solon, so we think it's pretty cool.
Plus, anything that we do, any of our profits go towards somebody and putting them into treatment. And I think that we forget to say that all the time, and I feel like that's a huge... I mean, I know that it does make me feel a little bit better if I have like reasoning to spend money.
Yeah.
Like, this is a solid one.
And I have to tell you, these sweatshirts are bomb.
Yeah, they are. If you touch the back, you can, my hair is puffy.
Yeah, we did, they did Natalie's hair in like a puff pink ink. So it's pretty cool. And enough about our boring stuff. Welcome to the Recover Out Loud Tuesday night meeting. Super grateful that you guys all show up every single week. What else?
You usually give the ground rules, which is basically, you guys already know the deal because you all are our weekly ones, where this is a non-traditional AA meeting. This is just a movement that we are recovering out loud with the Hopeaholics, and that Joel, shout out to him. He is our man of service in this meeting because he keeps track of the time. So you guys already know, usually it's the 3 minutes, and then once you hear the little ding ding, it's time to wrap it up so that everybody that wants to share gets to share.
Okay.
What, Shane? Wow, you wish. We're staying on topic, and I actually enjoy being on this side of the how do you like it now? You can't say nothing. You're muted. The last 2 weeks, it was torture for me because I was not in studio, so I couldn't really even say.
We got Mika with 1,000 days sober today.
Oh, that's huge.
Woo!
Nice.
Very exciting. Yeah, just wanted to wrap it up with the Recover Out Loud. It is a movement. It's not a program, so continue doing whatever you do on a daily basis to stay sober and sane.
100%.
You know, if that's the 12-step program, do that. If it's God, whatever it is, continue doing it. Yeah. And let's get
into
should,
it.
should we have Shane? Should we unmute Shane
No.
so Shane can?
No, he didn't unmute me. He had
so
no
Shane-
problem not listening to me the last couple of weeks. But you know what?
So
That's not how
Shane's gonna introduce the guest from
Okay.
home.
Look what he just wrote. He said no. See? You stay ready. Clearly you're not, Shane.
I'll show you.
Did you unmute him?
Yeah, he's not doing it.
Shane,
God, are you
unmute.
serious? Shane, don't be shy all of a sudden. We're praising you.
Hey, so in the house today we got what's your name again? I know it's a cool name.
Shadow.
Shadow, come on,
Shadow,
Shane.
that's
Come on,
right. That's what
Shane.
we're talking about. Shadow's in the house tonight, baby. Oh yeah. Oh, and look at that smile. Whoa,
I'm
look
saying?
at the smile. That is great.
First things are usually inappropriate.
Oh, I'm sorry. How's that inappropriate?
I'm just
I
kidding.
complimented her on her
I
beautiful
know.
smile.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Jesus, Murphy. Some people could take a compliment, Natalie.
I know. I guess that's because I don't get any from you.
Oh.
Aw.
All right.
Who's-
that's about
who's-
it. You
who's-
guys are doing
who's
a
that,
great job.
Shane?
This is huge.
Who's that, Shane? Yelling
That's
in
the
the
whole
back.
family's here. I'm going to mute. I'm going
All
to
right,
mute.
tell your
Okay.
family we said hi.
Yes.
I will.
Shane's family's here from Canada, so
Mm-hmm.
he's at home tonight, and they're having Passover
Yes.
dinner.
Nice.
So, all right, well, welcome, Shadow.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're up.
Okay, awesome. I just want to say first and foremost, God gets all the glory for me sitting in the seat today. Without him, I wouldn't be here. So I just want to give him thanks for that. I'm what I like to call the other side of addiction. I come from parents who suffered with substance abuse, a sister of a brother who suffered with substance abuse, and now a wife with a husband who's walked through his own addiction. So, I grew up with parents that were heavily addicted to heroin. I was born into it, and that's the life that I lived for about 17 years. So, my dad, I want to say, he was a manipulator. He was a liar. He hustled. He did whatever he could, to get his drugs and to get his fix. But I do remember my dad being a loving father. He was a loving dad, and I knew that he loved me, but, he suffered so heavily with addiction. And so, that tore our family apart. And for my mom, for her, I think she was just so far removed from her own addiction and the trauma my dad had caused, and trying to raise two kids, trying to work. And I think it just distorted our whole family for me and my brother. And so, that's what I grew up in. I don't remember my parents being around a lot. Hardly at all. I was raising myself by the time I was 5, cooking for myself, taking care of my older brother, who had, actually found his own life with friends. I don't even remember him being there. It was a very lonely childhood. And I remember at one point in my life, because my parents were so, addiction was their love, was more important to them, to the kids, that I just remember one time, my mom going on a run and forgetting that I was even home. And I think I was like 6 at the time. And she was gone for like 4 or 5 days, and she forgot to leave food. And that's what she would usually do, is like leave some groceries and then come back in 4 or 5 days. And she had forgotten. And I just remember being at a point of starvation sometimes, or just this lonely feeling as a kid. So this is what I grew up with. I didn't have any boundaries. It was very free. There were no parents around. And, my parents didn't leave me with a whole lot of life skills. They didn't leave me with how to go out and get a goal or live life, and this is what you should do. Um, and so as I grew up, by the time I'm 15, I've dropped out of school. Um, and I just remember feeling this void. I had to fill this void inside of myself, and I believe it was I didn't feel validated. I didn't feel loved. I didn't feel accepted. I didn't have any identity of who I was, because at that time it was like whoever my friends were at that time. If they were ravers, then I was a raver. If they were hip hoppers, I was a hip hopper, right? So I didn't have any identity of self. And and the only way for me to feel that void, it wasn't with drugs, it wasn't with alcohol. I filled it with I wanted a relationship, right? So I would fill this void with unhealthy, toxic relationships with guys, and that became my thing. That became my drug. I was going to fix this person I was with. I was going to change them. If I could just love them enough, they would see the good in me and I would be validated. And that never really happened. So I kind of took this along with me, and in that by the time I'm 19, I have my first kid. I always pick somebody who was suffering with addiction. I never picked, the good guy or the normal person, right? I was always picking my dad. So by the time I'm 21, again, I've toxic, unhealthy relationship, moved on to the next one, had another kid. So by the time I'm 21, I'm with 2 kids, and I become a single mom, and still trying to find a purpose, trying to fill this void. And even with my kids, I was still never really happy with that. So at 27, I get pregnant again, fall into another relationship with another addict, and it's empty, not emotionally available. And I did that for 12 years. I decided to get married and thought that that was going to fix it. And out of that was a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, a lot of, again, just not knowing who I was. I knew I wanted a different life. I just didn't know how to get it. I just didn't know where to go to get it. And I honestly didn't think, I had an issue or I had a problem. So, 4 kids in, 12 years in, my ex-husband at the time, he decides that he's going to go get clean and sober. And I thought at that moment, like, okay, perfect. You're going to go get clean. You're going to go get sober, and our life is going to be good and perfect, and it's going to be fixed magically somehow. But I didn't realize that I was part of that problem. So, he gets sober. It's been like a year, and then I'm faced with you go get help, or I was being faced with a divorce. That's what it was. And I thought, oh man, I better do something about that. I didn't want to get divorced, and want my kids to be without their dad, and I really thought that's what it was at the time. And so what I did was I put myself into an Al-Anon class, or an Al-Anon group, and I'll never forget it. It was 2016, and it was in December, 2 days before Christmas Eve. And I just remember being so sick and tired of my life and the way that I was living it and the way that I was feeling. I was unfulfilled. I didn't have a purpose. And I just remember surrendering. And that surrender was so surreal. It was like I had let all these emotions that I have felt all these years that I've bundled up inside of me, they all came out in that meeting. And I just remember sobbing through my share. And for the first time, I felt like I was I was alive. Like I had a life I could live, and I had a purpose. So I immediately got a sponsor. I did my steps, and I did that for about a year, but it it wasn't that helped me start living and fulfilling my purpose, but there were so many things about me that were still not healed that my parents had given me. That my life had been filled with so much trauma, sexual abuse, abandonment, domestic violence, and I needed to heal that. And I just didn't know how to heal it. And Al Anon was working, but I needed more in my life to heal my behaviors. So I continued with Al Anon, but I just knew that I wasn't healed. I wasn't fixed yet. And, that, of course, those behaviors led me into another relationship, and another relationship where I picked another addict, another unhealthy, toxic individual. But at this time, I knew that I could see the warning signs. I could see the red flags because everything that Al-Anon had taught me. But I still wasn't, I guess, strong enough to like leave the relationship or have enough courage to leave that relationship, even though I knew it was super unhealthy and it was super toxic. I just didn't know how to leave. And at that time, when I chose that relationship, my family wasn't happy about it. My friends weren't happy about it. They could all see what I wasn't seeing. And so it was like everybody kind of like abandoned me. Everybody kind of like stopped talking to me. So I didn't really have anybody that I could go to talk to and say like, hey, how do I get out of this? So, and so in 2019, we had went to go visit my son and my boyfriend at the time. We went to go visit my son because he was in the hospital. And I just remember that night that we were at a party or a get together, and he had drank, and I had never seen him drink before. So that was a shocker. I had had a couple of drinks, but nothing crazy. And we go to the hospital, and we're fighting really violently, and we're leaving the hospital. And I just remember thinking, okay, like I have to get out of this relationship, and I need to change. This has to change. I need to do better in my life. And so I just remember saying, hey, why don't you just take me home and let everything cool off, and we'll talk tomorrow. And so he just looks at me, has like this blank stare, and he looks at me and he turns the corner and he goes, no, I'm not going to take you home. I'm not going to take you home. And I said, okay. And he puts his foot on the gas and starts going really fast. And I just remember saying very calmly, like, you need to slow down. You're going to crash the car, and you're going to hurt us. And he looked over at me with, I'll never forget this look, with this most like dark, his eyes were dark, just blank stare. And he said, you're right. You're not going to go home. And I am going to kill you, and I'm going to kill myself. And he looked forward, and I just remember looking forward and thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. This is how I'm going to die. And just praying and asking God to forgive me, asking God to look over my kids. And that's all I could do, is just sit back and pray. And so he's going, and he's, driving. It was over 100 miles an hour. And he tries to crash the car into a brick wall, but the tires were too fat. So the tires bounce off the curb. We spin around and crash into a tree. And I just remember looking at my body real quick to see if, I was bleeding or anything was happening. I jumped out of the car. I'm running down the street, screaming for help. It was like 1:00 in the morning, and this guy comes out of nowhere. And asked what happened, and I just said, he just tried to kill me. And that's all I said. I just remember collapsing, and he called 911. They came. I woke up to an ambulance, being put into an ambulance car, and that was it. That was the last time I saw him. I pressed charges. I went into protective custody that night, and yeah, that changed my life forever. And I think that's when I just completely gave my life to God. Like, whatever you want me to do, do it. I have no say. I obviously don't know how to make good choices. And at 40, with kids, I was finding out who I was, and I needed help. And it wasn't just Al-Anon. I needed help with my behaviors. I needed help with my thinking. I needed help with my codependency, my abuse, my violence. So that's what I did. I quickly involved myself in whatever class I could get my hands on. And I want to give a shout out to, hopefully I can do that, to Laura's house, who offered free classes for codependency, domestic violence, anger management. And I spent a good year just pouring into myself and figuring out who I was and figuring out what I needed to change about me. And I remember doing all that and, just praying to God, like, whatever you have in store for me, whatever, you put in front of me, I'm going to do it. And that's what he did. I went back to school. I wanted to be a nurse, and he was like, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to go in this direction. And that led me into becoming case manager, counselor in substance abuse and mental health. Had no desire to do that at all. That's where he directed me, and that's where I went. And I even gave up relationships. I was like, I'm done. I just want to raise my kids. But, God, if you will bring a man my way, just make sure, he's godly and he's good and he loves kids. And that's how I met my husband, Marco. And everything just kind of fell in line the way that it was supposed to. And so, and I'm grateful for that. I'm thankful for that. Life could have turned out really different for me if I hadn't changed some things about myself. So, today I get to walk women through their own self-discovery. I get to work alongside my husband with Journey to Solutions and help him out with that. I lead groups in different facilities, and I teach on these coping skills, these things that I didn't have, these things that I lacked. So yeah, I have a very blessed, amazing life today, and I really want to share my story, and I want to help other women who have possibly been through a situation like myself and feel like there is no hope, there is no help, but there is. And to those mothers, daughters, husbands, partners, wives who are with the people who suffer from substance abuse, we need help. We're sick too, and we need to heal. And so I just want to put that out there, but I'm super grateful for today and the life that I get to live. So yeah, it's my story.
Amazing.
Awesome. That was honestly beautiful and refreshing. In the sense that, like, normal people feel the same way that we feel.
Yes.
And honestly, as you were talking, it made me think about just some of my past, using days and the people that I took hostage. They were willing participants, but still you realize the damage and the destruction that you do to people when you're in the insanity of your own disease. And at the same time, I mean, anybody that's with me during that time is also in their own type of codependency or disease.
Right.
And it was just beautiful to hear you talk about it, and to hear you talk about Al-Anon and walking
Yeah.
through the steps,
Yeah.
and then to ultimately finding what I call the ultimate solution, which is God, right?
Yes. Yes.
You know, because for me, the steps, actually, I was raised with God, but I left God, but the steps brought me back to God, and that ultimately is what keeps me sober and sane today.
Yes.
You know, and that's how I'm able to, by having that spiritual connection, I'm able to utilize the spiritual principles of the steps on a daily basis in my life.
Yes.
So thank you for your story.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to come here and share. Because I don't think that we talk about it enough, right? It's always the person who's suffering with
Yeah.
addiction, but it's, the families and
Totally.
those who are going and walking it through with them. They suffer.
Oh, for sure.
They definitely suffer and need help, you know?
Yes. And I loved it, like Chad was saying, it was really refreshing because I think it's very, very important and powerful for others that have been in that situation of being with an addict, because that is, Lord knows, that is not easy at all. And you're going to suffer a great deal emotionally and go and have to do a lot of self-work at some point, because it's very toxic and unhealthy. So I think it's powerful, and that's why I love this so much about, recovering out loud, because that we don't have to suffer in silence.
No.
I can't remember who said that, but I like that saying a lot, because you didn't know. You said what stuck out to me, because when I first got sober too, thank God it was because of my oldest brother, but there wasn't stuff like this, just like freely out there where you can listen to somebody else and relate to on a different level of
Right.
coming from a different place, born in a different state, whatever it may be, but you relate. And so I think it's important that you had to go and realize, like, oh, these bad behaviors are repeating themselves.
Yes.
And I have some work to do on myself to get better, so that I'm not trying to fix this
The other
person.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did want to say that's what's unique about our meeting, our Recover Out Loud meeting, our platform in general is, yes, we're recovery based and mental health based, but this recovery group is open to everybody. It's open to, I can tell you right now, just by reading some of the comments and looking at some of the people I know personally on the screen, we have moms on here that have lost their child to fentanyl. We have family members who have people that are out there in their addiction now.
Yes.
And this is a recovery group for everyone.
Yes.
Yes.
Shout out to Tracy, and she's gonna be having some. Are you selling the sweatshirts, Tracy? Will you go? Can I turn you on for a second? That sounded weird, right?
Yeah. I'm going to call you Shane.
Shane's not here, so
Yeah.
I'm being Shane tonight. Yeah, Tracy Stanton. Ashley Osborne thought it was funny.
Yeah, I know. I see her crying face.
Oh, it's pretty funny.
Any chance of that tonight, Tracy?
Well, I'm in Washington. You're in California, and I think your wife, who might get a little upset. Sorry, Donna.
Oh, she's watching too.
Oh, I know she's laughing. She's like, "Oh my God, you guys."
So enough me being a weirdo, like Shane. We leave
Yeah.
that stuff for Shane.
Exactly.
But can you tell us? Are you selling the sweatshirts and stuff? What's happening? So can I make a quick introduction about who you are?
Me or
yes.
you?
No. Me introduce you.
Yeah, you can introduce.
Okay. So Tracy is a good friend of mine. Her son was a really good friend of mine and my basketball teammate. And he passed away about a year ago, almost exactly,
29th.
the 29th of this month. So he passed away to fentanyl. And she's been a big part of my life and a big part of the Hopeaholics. She is a Hopeaholic. Yes. She was a guest. Her son was actually one of the first, I think, 10 guests that we ever had
Yeah.
on the Hopeaholics podcast. So, really, really close friend of mine, unfortunately passed away to this fentanyl crisis. He started a clothing brand called Clean Cartel while he was still alive, and Tracy's been keeping that thing going.
Hey.
And I don't know
Hey,
what
Tom,
that
will you
was.
hold this for a second?
Um,
Sorry, you probably hear his little brother talking. I'm just asking him if he'll hold up the sweatshirt so I can flip it around and show you.
yeah, perfect.
I'm getting ready to have back surgery, so I won't get to be there on the 29th. My fusion's failing, so one sec, I'm gonna flip it around. How do I flip my camera?
And guys, this is why we do this, man, is because 300 people are dying every single day from fentanyl, and people are
Mom how to flip her
they're-
camera.
I think I got it. Okay, so this is what I added to the back. I think we're gonna take this off on the next round and just move Bobby. That's Bobby's signature. That's Bobby's B, which is also on my arm. That's his handwriting. So that's the back of them. Okay, go ahead, flip it around, babe. And that's the front of the new ones.
and he was all about the Clean Cartel.
That's cool.
Yes. And then we also have them in pink. And
Ooh.
Tommy just went and shipped a whole bunch to Tyler today. They'll be at the center on Friday.
Nice. So we'll have some here at the center.
You will have a whole bunch. I sent Tyler a list of okay, babe, thanks.
I just want to
Hold
say
on.
that we'll also sell those on our store. In the future, our store will be up and going soon. The other thing I want to tell you guys, man, if you get an opportunity and you only watch one of our podcasts, watch Bobby's, because it is insanely powerful, and it'll touch you in the heart in like no other podcast. And he's still out help saving lives. From above.
Yeah, we're trying. We sold quite a few over here I'm looking at responses asking for people to buy them. I just shipped 2 boxes that'll be to Hope. I sent him attention to Tyler because I didn't know if you would be at the center, Chad. Tyler has a list of what sizes we have. I put in a rush order for Tyler wants some that have the blue at the bottom. So we're going to do some with blue as the next run. Bobby does have other designs. That is Bobby's design. That is not my design. I only added the wording to the back.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Tyler will have a good stack of t-shirts and sweatshirts in both green and pink at Hope on Friday, or Chad will. There's a note in there telling him cost sweatshirts are $50, t-shirts are $25. Once we pay for which we're halfway there, once I pay for all the shipping, the rest of it stays there at Hope. It doesn't come back to me. So whoever's gonna, I think Tyler said he'd handle it, or somebody there could handle it. But we're not doing anything coming back to me on any orders. Once we hit what the purchase price is, they're going all right back to Hope, because that's where my son loved, and that's what saved Bobby. And I haven't had a chance to tell you, Chad, but his death is still under investigation. So there was a minimal amount of fentanyl in his system, but there was plenty other drugs scattered around to make it look like he had overdosed. So
Wow.
we'll find out more. I was hoping to be there next week, but I can hardly walk right now. So that's why you saw me leaning against pillows earlier. So I'm doing another order. I'll send you a picture, Chad, of the next ones that are coming. And if people have a specific color they want to do, I can set up a website with you, and I just never got that far. And so I just kind of been winging it and ordering them and paying for them and then selling them. Last ones we gave pretty much all of them away because it was right after Bobby passed away.
Yeah.
So this time we're trying to put money back to Hope, to the sober houses, to wherever they need to go, to food,
Cool.
whatever, medical. So hopefully we'll clean those out really fast, and I'm just going to start shipping half to you and half, and keep, just minimal here, because I have a lot of people wearing them here, but I think a lot more people know Bobby in recovery down there, and it's a good it's a good story.
Yeah.
I mean, for why he created this design, why he wanted to proceed with Clean Cartel. So thanks for letting me share.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Well, guys, if you want a hoodie, please just DM the Hopeaholics, and as soon as they arrive, I'll ship them out. All right, let's.
Yeah, and if you're
Sorry, she just muted you. There you go.
if they're in Washington State, if they're over by me, I can ship them out. I just sent most of them to you guys just now, so I have very few here in Washington, but the rest went to California.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much,
you.
Tracy.
Welcome.
Ashley, you're up.
Hi, Ashley.
Hi, family. Ashley, grateful, recovering human being. I gotta say, I didn't plan on hearing all that when I came in tonight, but it's really good to know I'm not alone in two aspects. I know I'm not alone in a lot, but sometimes I feel alone. And getting to hear what I got to hear from, I believe it was Shadow.
Yes.
And then Tracy, my addiction started with relationships and codependency because my whole family was addicts growing up. And when my brother passed away, he was murdered 4 years ago, and he had fentanyl and meth and all kinds of other shit in his system. And they blamed that on that. And when my addiction started was I tried to save people like my family. That's how my addiction kicked off. Was I wasn't an addict at first. I was just addicted to trying to save the people that I grew up with. And I couldn't save them, so I was going to save others like them. And it never actually worked. And eventually I let one talk me into trying it, and I was hooked from the gate. You know what I mean? And it just downward spiraled all the way. And unfortunately, when we lost my brother, I was still struggling back and forth because I thought I could be normal and I thought I could drink or smoke weed. I'd put down all the other stuff, but I thought I could still do at least that. And I didn't realize that I'm still me at the end of the day. So no matter what I do to cover me up, I'm not going to be successful until I deal with me. And unfortunately, but thankfully, my son got pulled into CPS a year ago, and it forced me to make a big life change, a big one. And I went through a lot of classes and a lot of therapy and a lot of everything else. And, I've suffered a lot of loss, but I think suffering that one was the worst one. Because it wasn't like he was just gone. He was right over there, but I couldn't see him or touch him or hear him. And it was due to my own decision making that happened. And so by the grace of God, I prayed to get better, and lo and behold, my son got taken away. And I have made all the changes I need to make, and I just had my first weekend with him this weekend. And the 10th of May, I get to go to my brother's sentencing. The sentencing for my brother's murder. He was convicted on all counts. We're looking at 50 to life, hopefully more, because we have the aggravating factors that can go into play there. And, my brother and his murderer were both high at the time. And all I could think when I was sitting in court was, damn, I'm really glad I don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, I get to be here because I don't do that anymore. Like, I get the chance to be a normal human being and come sit here and support and hear this and go through this. And I don't have to use over it today. I can call my people. And like, I have my other means of recovery support, but 3A is my pillar. Like, I lean on them more than I lean on anybody else because they're just a recovery support. They're not a 12-step group. And I lean on them all the damn time, and I call them my firefighters, because when I'm stuck in a tree or my house is burning down, I can call them. You know what I mean? And they come fix it. But I'm really glad that they introduced me to you guys, because this group is beyond fire, and I love each and every single one of you, and I'm so grateful that you guys are here. So I'm gonna shut up now because I'm over.
Amazing.
Nice, amazing. A shout out to the 3A group,
Yeah,
man.
3A
Hell
is
yeah.
like-
I was like watching the comments in the beginning. Is there
There's like
literally 10 in here?
10? I was trying
10
to
was the
follow,
last
too.
count I saw. So thank you guys for showing up
Yeah.
and supporting
It's huge.
the Hopeaholics podcast and the Recover Out Loud movement.
Yeah.
Oh, and thanks Joelle for because I saw one of the messages was Joelle's spreading the word, bringing the two families together.
I like it.
Matt's up.
Hi, Matt.
Hey, good evening, family. How you doing? Matt, a grateful recovering addict. Um, kind of kind of able to be touched a little bit here on both shares from Shadow and Tracy as well. Um, when I was when I was shit when I was 24 years old, um, found my sister dead. She was dead from a drug overdose. Um, and she was going through some issues, some physical issues with a bone and nervous disease called RDS. And she had begged me and my mother to come out there to be with her. And my mother said she couldn't get out there, and I was too fucking high to come help her. But my mother hadn't gotten a response from her in 2 days. She was calling her. So I went out there myself, got to the house, doors were locked. Um, Looked in, could see her foot on the floor, ended up kicking her door in, and I found her lifeless body. Her husband at the time um, ended up disappearing. Um, Turns out he knew that she had died, and he left the house and left her body there. He didn't take her life; she took her own. But he didn't do anything about it either. But either way, and then on top of that, I just continued to use for many, 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 many fucking years. I am 47 years old right now, and am just coming up on my 2 years next week.
Nice.
Took a long time, man. Took a long time, and it's finally found spirituality, and I think that's just being tired of being tired and being hurt and killing myself and killing the people around me. I'm just tired of it all, and it just finally clicked. And throughout these 2 years, I've really been able to lean on spirituality. I don't pray to a certain religion or anything of that nature. But definitely a very spiritual person. And finally, a couple months ago, found 3A, and oh shit, excuse me. For the first time in my recovery, I'm actually comfortable outside of myself, and I'm able to find that here too with the Hopeaholics. I really enjoyed the meeting last week. Really enjoyed it tonight. We'll definitely continue to be here, and you know, so thankful for 3A, and definitely thankful for you guys, man. And nobody give up on yourself, yo. No matter how early or deep you are into recovery, don't fucking give up, man, because you got this. That's all I got.
Love it,
Oh,
man.
love that.
Love it.
And congratulations on that 2 years.
Thank you.
That's huge. That is huge.
Next Tuesday when I'm on here, it'll be my 2 years.
Nice.
Ooh, nice. Ooh, I think that'll be
Hmm.
our first like actual real like birthday on the date.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
That'll be amazing.
Excited.
Thank you.
Our service guy is up.
Joel.
If it wasn't for Joel, we wouldn't even know about the fact that you could put a clock on Zoom. So thank you for bringing your wisdom from 3A
Yeah.
to the Recover Out Loud meeting.
No, the meeting would be a mess because all of us would be trying to do it on our phones and then.
I mean, the last
and-
time you weren't here, like 2
Jeez
weeks ago,
Louise.
Joel, I was like on my phone, and then Natalie was accusing me of being on my phone, but I was actually like I was running the timer and I had it by the mic.
And,
And yeah.
yeah, I look back and I'm like, rude.
Yeah. So, and then I got
But-
home and my wife was like, I saw you on your phone. So anyways, we appreciate you, Joel.
Yes, big time.
Absolutely. And, I didn't choose the thug life, it chose me. So, hey, everybody, I'm Joel, grateful alcoholic and drug addict. Tracy, thank you for what you're doing, not letting your son's legacy die when he did. It's very unfortunate, and I'm very sorry for your loss, but, you're continuing to do good things for him and keeping his name out there. And, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to people in the recovery community. It helps us recover out loud. We get to wear the merch, and then somebody will ask you about it. Hey, what's that all about? Sorry, I didn't start the timer. Oops. But
Suspicious.
but
Yeah.
but yeah, exactly. Sus as fuck. But no, it really is cool because it can be a conversation starter. And you end up meeting a lot more people in recovery, that way. I'll be randomly driving down the road. The other day I saw a couple of dudes like with a couple of books sitting outside on a gondola, and I was like, friends of Bill. They're like, fuck yeah. I mean, it's just, kind of the telltale signs, but no, I just really appreciate what you're doing, Tracy. Shadow, thank you for your share. It takes a lot to be vulnerable with a room full of folks that you have no idea who they are and how they're gonna, react to you. Your share, and just appreciate you coming out and doing that for us.
Thank you.
I related a lot to the broken people choose broken people. Very guilty of that. I married a woman who was very easy to manipulate and justify my drinking and my drug use. And then the drug use I couldn't justify with her. I just did when she wasn't around. I'd stay out for a couple days at a time and, get fucked up and, where were you? Oh, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Mind you, we had 2 kids at home and I'm just fucking off, get divorced, choose another broken girl. That relationship goes to hell, of course. Why wouldn't it? Next broken girl, next broken girl. Then I finally found the broken girl that saved my life. We were sitting around one night getting drunk in my kitchen, and she was like, hey, would you want to go to treatment with me? And I was like, no, I am comfortable in my alcoholism. And, at that time, I knew I was an alcoholic. Like, I fucking dead to rights knew. But I was comfortable in my alcoholism. I had a couple of drinks in the morning before work, a couple of drinks at noon, and then a couple of drinks at night. It wasn't like smashed ass drunk, go to work, smashed ass drunk at lunch, smashed ass drunk, blackout when I got home. So I was comfortable in my alcoholism. Well, when she planted that seed, it took me about 2 months to actually have that seed come to fruition. And I was absolutely miserable. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I remember that week leading up, I was absolutely miserable. I was depressed. I was suicidal, anxiety ridden. I called off of work. Like I had already had a week off, and I called off a week worth of work because I was sick. And on a Friday night, some friends came over and I broke down and I was like, I really need some help. I handed them my insurance card and asked if they could just start calling phone numbers for me. That landed me in Florida. And I haven't looked back. I'm super excited. I'm not as close as Matt to the 2 years, but I'm a couple of months away. I got 667 on my day count. Not today, Satan. That was yesterday. You missed me, bud. Fucking missed me, bro. Nice try. But no, and I wasn't big into the spirituality, and I didn't think of God moments and things like that. And I'll try to wrap it up pretty quick, but the further I got into recovery and the longer I spent in a treatment center, the more I started seeing miracles happen for others. And I'm like, why is this happening for them and it's not happening for me? And the general consensus was they were praying, they were believing in a higher, greater than themselves, something out there in this universe that leads them to greatness. And, I was like, you know what? That shit's free. Let me try it. And that's usually how I was with drugs. So I thought, why not? Why not be an addict of something else, right? But no, I firmly believe that girl saved my life that night by asking me if I'd go to treatment with her. She planted that seed, and I went, And now we support each other back and forth. She's still in Texas, but we talk from time to time. She's in recovery. She slipped up a couple of times, but she's coming up on like a year and a half now. So that's fucking awesome. I actually got a memento tattooed on my arm for her, just to kind of remind me of, you know, the places I've been and the people that have helped me, you know. And actually both my sleeves I've gotten done in the past year, and it's all recovery based. What this means, what that means. It tells, my fucking arms tell a story of my recovery. And
Nice.
you know, I'm
Nice.
extremely blessed to be in the position that I am. I'm extremely blessed to be invited into rooms like this and do service for y'all. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
You know, and I like when you started off, Shadow, you were like, you know, God gets all the grace for this. And that's absolutely true. God gets all the grace for me being here and being able to be of service for y'all. Because if I was fucked up out on the street or dead, I wouldn't be able to help a fucking soul.
That's right.
And I did 100% shout y'all out last night. I hosted the meeting last night, and I was like, y'all got to come check out the Hopeaholics on Tuesday. Similar type vibes, great people. They always have a speaker, which is always my favorite. I love speaker meetings. So again, thank you, Shadow. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Shane, who's at home doing Passover. But I just really appreciate y'all. I want to tell y'all that I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. And thank you, thank you, thank you.
We love you, Joel. You're the
Yeah.
bomb.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Just so you know, we talk about y'all off air all the time.
Oh, for
So we got a lot of funny stuff going on, and we're like, what if Joel and Chuck end up being in this? We got this little thing we're doing. I'll let you guys know about it later, but it just cracks me up because we literally talk about you guys really quick. The Hopeaholics actually have a phone number now, so I'm gonna have Emily put it in the chat. It's 949-615-8588. If anybody ever needs help, or you know a loved one that needs help, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. If you text the phone, it's me that answers. If you call the phone, it's Shane that answers. So
I guess I haven't gotten the privileges yet. I'm still in training.
She's still in training, but
as you can see, it takes me a lot to even enter the chat room. So I'm doing my best.
So yeah, if you guys have a loved one or ever anybody's ever just suffering and you need help, man, just feel free to reach out to us. We are available a lot. And I can't say 24/7, but we are available.
Damn near close.
Damn near close. I sleep from 9 to 3 a.m. So that's my schedule.
Sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah, except last night.
Yeah, me too.
Chuck, you're up, buddy.
Chuck.
Zamzo.
Love it. Love it. Hey, everybody. My name is Chuck. I'm an alcoholic. You know, I'm grateful I woke up today instead of coming to. You know, I'm also grateful for people that have come before me that teach me wonderful things about life, and the people that continue to keep coming in the rooms and outside the rooms keep teaching me life as well. Shadow, I really appreciated the story tonight because a couple things, and I'll try to condense it. You know, I've been with a woman for almost 16 years, and she is a complete opposite of me. You know, we started out as friends when I first sobered up, because I looked right at her. I said, you know, my sponsor recommended me not dating anybody for about a year, doing other things for about a year. And we became friends and remained friends for a while. And she was going through some things with herself. And I wanted her to be able to have that time to find herself as well, which was completely different for me on a characteristic I never had. Lo and behold, we've been together almost 16 years. And, you know, she quit drinking because of me. For what reason? I asked her why, and she goes, well, you don't drink. So why do I want to drink in front of you? And that changed my outlook on a lot of things. And she quit smoking, which she's been smoke free for a long time now too. Maybe some of my habits rubbed off onto her about some things, and vice versa. She knows me better than I know myself. You know, she says that all the time. And I'm grateful for that. You know, she kind of keeps me in line. You know, I talked about in the daily rejections today, AA is not a cure-all. And for me, this meeting right here, this group, I would consider my outside therapy, because there's not one path. There's many paths to go, and grateful for that. I'm grateful I ran into this group quite a while ago, and I dated a lot of women that were exactly like me back when I was running and gunning, and I knew what I was doing. I knew exactly what I was doing, and lo and behold, I found somebody that set those things different. And it made me think about my twin sister a lot too. She was around an abusive person for a long time, and I hated to hear the phone call come that she was dead or something happened, because I knew the other person was very, very abusive. Grateful that relationship is gone, and she's on to a better life as well. Also, I've been sharing with a lot of this stuff with her too, to, give her a different perspective. So, God has a plan. Grateful I'm here. Thanks. That's all I got.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks, Chuck.
Love that. Mika.
Mika, what day is it today?
I don't know. A big one. Big 1,000.
That a baby.
Shadow, when you started telling the story of this man who put you in that car and tried to end your life, it was like, before you even said those words, I was like, oh my God, like she is about to say the same thing, scenario, situation where some person next to you thinks they have a right to look you in your eyes and tell you they're going to take your life and then put your life in. I mean, it's just it makes me shake, because when it happened to me, my daughter was in the car. When it happened to me, I had my 5-month-old and myself in the back of the car, and I had my ex turn around from the front seat when we're getting onto the on-ramp on the LIE on like a ramp, like a curved ramp. He just steps on the gas and like tells me the same words, like, well, you're not going home, but no, I'm gonna kill you and the baby. Obviously himself, because he's crashing the car. Like, I'm lucky that didn't happen. Like, I'm blessed that didn't happen. But that didn't stop what happened after that, 10 years of addiction. Like, because of we could go back chronologically and do this, talk about my story like in depth, but maybe I'll get that opportunity another time. I just wanted to say that story was like just another reminder that this is where I'm supposed to be, sitting in the rooms, talking to people, listening to stories and triumph and resilience and not giving in to that evil, that stuff that like really still exists in my life, because I have to deal with that person.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, protecting myself from that is kind of like a daily. So like, it just, thank you for giving me this room, this opportunity to like be a part of this community. It's just amazing. It's so necessary for me right now in my recovery. And it's only been a couple of weeks. And I feel so grateful. And today I wanted to make sure everyone remembers that you don't have to do things. We get to do them now. We get to choose to do things. We have decisions. We have that sane mind that we get to trust our decisions and choices that we want to make. And who helps that and who helps guide that. And that's why I think we're all here. We're all miracles. And that's all. I don't know. I'm not going to cry today. We ain't crying today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
And thanks for being a part of our community.
Of course.
I mean, we love that.
That's so cool. This is so cool. I'm just in awe of everything that's happening. This is awesome.
You're gonna give me oh I was like, what was that, right? Sorry. Jonda?
Hi, I'm Jonda Addict. Shadow and Tracy's story was both really hit home today. Like Shadow, damn. I also grew up in a home. My mom, she was a nurse. She got addicted. I was in middle school, and for so many years, I felt like I tried to save her, and I got a lot of anger and resentment, And I screamed a lot of times, never to her. I would never do this. Why would you want to do this to us? Um, I got pregnant when I was 19. I finished college. My degree's in human services and counseling. I've also done case management and counseling. I've worked in addiction, and I've worked with school-based therapy too with kids. Somewhere along the lines, I got in a domestic relationship for 10 years. Just the things I went through, I just don't even want to talk about. But just the same stuff. And through all that, I started coping, and I started coping with drugs due to the abuse that I endured. The physical abuse. And I ended up getting shot in October 2020, and 2 months later, I was addicted to fentanyl. And today I'm 56 days sober from fentanyl.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
And I'm so glad
Nice.
I'm here. I'm so glad that I was given that second chance, that I had a blessing in disguise that happened to me. And God seen that it wasn't my time to leave this world, because I was going to die, even though I didn't think nobody could have convinced me in the world I was going to die, because I never overdosed. So this stuff can't kill me, right? But it was going to. And I'm just glad I'm here today, and I'm glad I'm in this room, and I'm glad Joelle told us all about this room. And I love you guys, and I'll definitely be back. Thanks for letting me share.
Thank you for showing up, and thank you for sharing tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. And we recover out loud. Just going off of what she said, we recover out loud because my son-in-law, he died in silence from fentanyl, and my 21-year-old daughter found him dead on 9/11 of 2022, and that's why the Hopeaholics podcast exists, man, because we just want to offer hope to first and foremost, we want to be the voice for the people that have lost their voice, and we want to be a beacon of hope for the family members that have lost loved ones, and to know that they're not alone, and that some other people have been there, and we've turned our pain into our purpose, and that's why this platform exists. So thank you for sharing. Up next, we have...
Oh, yeah, because Chad normally says it. I'm going to say it tonight because I'm nicknamed Chatty Natty. It's our meeting obviously is until 7 o'clock, but we always go until the last person that raises their hand shares, just so.
Yeah.
Putting it out there.
And when we get to like 10,000 followers, Joel said that he would stay all night for the 24-hour.
Oh, yeah. But we're working on that, by the way.
We are working on that.
I think it would be fun to.
We need to do a 24-hour.
It'd be wild. I'll be off the chain for 24 hours.
Yeah. We'll be
running around, leading workouts.
Just live on
shit.
Zoom doing recovery shit for 24 hours straight.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
Brooke's up.
Brooke.
Oh boy, I'm nervous. Okay, so I also grew up with a lot of alcoholics in my life. Both of my grandpas drank. One of my grandpas was given a choice that he either stops or my grandma was leaving and taking all 8 kids with them. And that day he just completely stopped. And then I had an uncle that was an addict as well. And it's like Chad said, you never realize who you're taking hostage with you when you're using and you're drinking. I never really realized until now the trauma that we kind of all felt from his drinking. I saw what it did to my grandma. She was probably one of the only people in our family that never actually gave up on him. And watching her cry at his funeral was probably the hardest thing that I've ever seen in my life. I used to think that I was a functional alcoholic until I realized that I wasn't. And it kind of scared me that I decided to go down the same path as my uncle. And oh God, now I'm getting nervous. I am glad and thankful that I stopped before I was putting my family through again what my uncle went through. Um, a lot of my family doesn't know that I'm in recovery. My uncle tried to do recovery so many times and it just never really stuck for him. So a lot of my family, in a way, think recovery is a joke and like it doesn't work. So I haven't told most of them just because I'm not ready for that type of, like, I don't want, not judgment, but I don't want what they're gonna say. I don't want to hear it right now. So I'm trying to recover out loud, kind of doing it quietly, but I'm working up to doing it out loud. And I really appreciate you guys doing this podcast and just letting everybody kind of showing different walks of life for people. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Brooke.
Thanks, Brooke. You're definitely recovering out loud tonight because that was just live on YouTube. So thanks for sharing, Brooke.
Mitch.
All right. Hello, guys. Mitch, recovering addict from drugs and alcohol and sex and stuff like that, right? Got my date from drugs and alcohol coming up on 3 years in July. So
Nice.
Awesome.
it hasn't been easy, but yes, I don't really have the urge, but I know sometimes I get that thought, but it's always about how we keep it for a moment, you know, like how people are like saying, oh, it's just a bad day, you know, but it never should make it be like more than a day or more than just a moment, you know. So like most of the things I'm always grateful for and able to turn that switch. It's just like a light switch, right? I know I should turn my light on so you guys can see me, but it's something like that as well. You know, when it comes to like a moment or thinking about doing drugs and alcohol or whatever your addiction is, just put it away, right? Yeah, definitely always so grateful. I definitely want to get one of those jackets. Definitely want to get on that fentanyl train to support others and lead them to others and tell them to stop smoking. And you know, you never know. I still know some people still suffering, right? But they gotta be careful, right? And I wanted to share this Psalms 37:4. Take delight in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. So I always will like that. And you know, we just need to take delight in the Lord, and He's gonna take care of you. So thank you always. Thank you, Shadow, for your share. That was very touching and very wow, truly. And may God bless all you guys. Thank you for letting me share.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing.
You.
iPad 101. iPad user. Let's see who it is.
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know.
Hey guys, can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I turned on the video earlier. The first couple of times I joined. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Wes, what's going on, man? Somebody was just asking about you in the chat earlier. This is Wes.
Yeah.
Wes, your camera's not on. Wes was paralyzed from his addiction from the neck down. Somebody was just asking about you today.
Yeah, so me and my parents moved into a house and it's surrounded pretty much by oak trees. And the Wi-Fi connection here is kind of choppy. And I had my video on when I first joined in, and I got kicked out because of Wi-Fi connection. So I turned my video off. But let me try to turn it on real quick and see how it goes. Wish me luck.
Good luck. Good luck. Well, just so you know, Jennifer, because Jennifer asked, Wes literally, we like DM almost every day. He sends me a DM, man, and I send him a DM back almost every day, huh, Wes?
Yes, sir. All glory to God.
Amen.
There you
There
are.
you are.
Yeah. So, hey, guys, I'm Wes or Wesley, whichever you want to call me. Hey, you cripple, neighborhood-friendly quadriplegic, that's me. Real quick. I got paralyzed from the neck down from shooting heroin. Too much shy of 7 years ago, and so I was in the ICU for 3.5 weeks, on a ventilator, because when you get paralyzed from your neck down, that paralyzes your lungs and everything inside as well, and so that's why I had to be on a ventilator. And God blessed me by restoring the use of my lungs after 3.5 weeks, and then 2.5 weeks after that, God restored the use in my arms, and I can move my left one all the way. My right one I can move about 33%, give or take. But both my hands are paralyzed, and even though both my hands are paralyzed, God gave me the use of my left wrist, which kind of naturally curls my fingers. And God grants me with the ability to use the first two knuckles, as you see here, on my left hand to operate / control the entire iPad, as well as voice to text. So if it wasn't for touch technology, screen touch technology, I definitely wouldn't be able to be a part of this. So I'm also grateful to God for that. All the testimonies tonight and people's stories and stuff like that. I'm grateful to hear, and grateful that you guys that God gives you the bravery and the courage to share, because sometimes it's definitely not easy to share your story and stuff that you or someone else has been through, because that's just how it is sometimes. But I'll go ahead and wrap up. I just 7 weeks after regaining use of my arms, I had some heroin brought into me in the hospital, and I overdosed twice within the same week because of horrible decisions, and both times, unbeknownst to me, it was laced with fentanyl, and it was probably literally maybe the equivalent amount of fentanyl as the equivalent to maybe 4 or 5 grains of sand. And that was enough. That was all it took to make me overdose and stop my heart. And I'm definitely glad and grateful to God for being here. And I'm grateful to every one of you guys for being here and staying strong. And through God, all things are possible.
That's right.
And that definitely rings true today. And also, we are in the end times. I don't know if a lot of you guys are in the Bible and whatnot, and with the news, but we got to repent for our sins. You know, I none of us are free from sin, and I literally find myself sinning and having to repent like 5, 6, 7 times a day. You know, thanks Jennifer's iPhone to me. I'm glad I'm back too. And you're welcome for sharing. And God is good, and Jesus died on the cross for our sins. He gave up his life willingly for us so that we can have salvation through him. And he's the only one that can forgive us for our sins. And when we sin and we repent, that's how we get into heaven. And I pray that we're all in heaven when our times come. And thank you guys for being here for me to share my story too. And that's all I got.
Thanks so much, Wes. We hope
Glad you're back.
Glad you're back.
Yes,
Hope to
we
see you
missed
again
you.
next week.
We missed you.
Yeah, I'll be here next week for sure.
Awesome.
God willing.
And our man, Victor.
Victor.
What's going on, my man?
What's up, guys? Missed you guys last week at a fire call and had to go drop a monster tree. Nothing like you guys got out there in Cali, but
Yeah.
we try down here in New Mexico. Shadow, thanks for your story, and I don't know if I've like heard it somewhere on another platform or if just the similarities in stories from other people that I know. But like when you're talking about the tire and the wall, and I was like, I've heard this somewhere, so I don't know if I've heard you speak somewhere else or if I've heard somebody else, but I feel free, man. But I like how you talked about, like trying to fix everyone. I've always kind of thought of myself as like a problem solver, and I think I got so caught up in trying to like solve other people's problems, and it might not have been, as serious as mine, but I think I was able to like compartmentalize mine and like not make it as big of a deal as it like was starting to be. And I've come to the realization that I need to work on myself before I can help anybody else. And just by working on myself and realizing the areas where I'm weak, it gives me the strength to help out those that are struggling, whether it's with this same shit or in other areas of their life. Before I used to help people out like in a transactional manner, right? How can I help you so I could get something for me? And now I'm just glad to be able to help. Had a mountain full of laundry last night, and I used to always just start a fight with my wife about laundry or dishes or whatever. And she got home late from her shift last night, and everything was folded. I didn't put it all away, but I made my best effort. So yeah, just gonna continue to work on myself and get better, and help out where I can, and realize that I can't fix everybody, but I can work on myself and try and get myself right. So thank you guys.
Love that.
Awesome. Thanks, Victor.
Thanks, Victor.
Okay. Katie.
Katie.
Hi guys. My name's Katie. I'm an addict.
Hi,
Hey, Katie.
I want to thank you guys so much for this platform. It definitely motivated me to be here tonight. And you guys have this like cool factor that, between your merch and, the way you have your studio set up and everything. And like, you guys are like doing your thing and you're fit and you're good looking and just, I think you guys are really a great example for some people that, want like, in a sense, like, people can identify. I want to thank the speaker for speaking. It was a very inspirational and touching story. I do believe in God as well. I suffer from mental illness, and I find that using shifts my mood in a way my medication doesn't. And that's been my trigger. I did have 12 years at one point in NA. Also, the speaker motivated me to reach out and maybe go into counseling because that's something I'm not doing right now. Like I started with someone and then I just kind of felt like it was a friend I was BSing with. I didn't really feel like I was getting very far with it. I used earlier, but I also made this meeting and I'm just not going to give up. Like I kind of slacked a little bit on meetings. I don't know why I'm not like, when my first time around at 19, I'm 46 now. It was the same situation. I was depressed and I wanted to change my life. And I went into meetings and it just stuck. I don't know if I need to go to more brick and mortar. I've been doing a lot of Zoom. I did get myself a sponsor who I don't call like I should because the depression kind of tells me that I don't want to. I just don't know why I'm not trying harder, even using isn't like so phenomenal, but it's just like a step better. It's just hard for me to cope with the depression. It's just hard for me to sit with myself. So I guess I'm just going to keep coming, keep praying. I follow like Joyce Meyer, even though I'm Jewish and, happy Passover to those that observe. But I wasn't really raised religiously, so I just pick it up where I can. So I do the Joel Osteen, I do the Joyce Myers. And I'm just going to try to keep coming back, and hopefully I'll be blessed with this moment. I guess sometimes they say, like, you don't understand, like sometimes God gives you problems to kind of like carry you through and strengthen you. And maybe that's the reason. It's not that like necessarily God is like neglecting me or not helping me in the way I want to be helped, but maybe I just have to wait for my moment, I guess. Oh, and I want to thank you guys also for the fentanyl awareness. I actually did order Narcan. So I have that at home if anything should happen, God forbid. And that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you
Katie.
for sharing.
Thank
Yeah.
you for your honesty, and I appreciate you showing up and sharing. This is what it's all about, because the shit's hard.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it requires work and effort, and all of us are in this together because we all struggle from the same thing. And I related a lot to what you said, because my thinking is it's not it. I wanna switch the way that I feel, and that's usually by using. And thank God today that's not the case. So I think you have the right idea. That's why the little cliches that I used to hate saying all the time, I'm like, shut up when I would hear them in meetings. They're so true. Keep coming back.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, just keep coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I stay sober, I could actually work out. I know you guys are all about fitness too, and I know that can change
it'll shift your mental state too.
It shifts the depression
It
a
does.
lot. I mean, we're about like
chemistry.
the fitness, cold plunge, and what we put in our the type of food we eat as well.
Because it does.
Yeah, I've been
play-
eating like shit.
Yep,
so.
and that's gonna. Play
And when I
on
use,
depression.
I eat like shit. And I was gonna tell you guys, man, you have no idea how many meetings I've been to loaded as fuck. I'm sure a lot of you can relate
Oh my
to
God,
that.
are you serious? I
Like
used to-
loaded,
sure.
paranoid,
And
thinking
be
everybody
judgmental
in
as
there
fuck in
was.
the background-
I was paranoid. I thought everybody in there was like working for the cops. That's just where I go, man.
No, for sure.
How about AK-47? Yeah, up there on the board now. AK.
For those of you whom I'm meeting for the first time in this meeting tonight,
welcome.
Thank you. I'm at a loss for words, and that is, for those of you who know me in 3A, I'm usually pretty articulate. Shadow, your story. May God give you strength and continue to be a source of inspiration. Like, I pray that this podcast catches fire. And I got to apologize if I'm leaving people out, but there were a lot of stories shares here tonight that, like, I had trepidation raising my hand. Like, I didn't want to, and then I did, and then I didn't want to again, and then I did. And Wes, man, keep moving those muscles, brother. I can tell you first hand experience. It's skating uphill backwards, but when you can do it, man, I'm proud of you, what you've accomplished so far already. And I got the same hands, man. So we, when we get together, sometime maybe I can shake your hand. I would like that very much. And for those of you observing Passover tonight, I pray that your families are safe. I have always found it difficult to go into the rooms, whether it's an actual physical infrastructure, aka brick and mortar, or Zoom meetings, because I was forced to, living in a sober house, and if I didn't, I was going to get kicked out. Where I'm going with this tonight, because I only got 20 seconds left, and like I said, I'm usually very articulate, and for me to be at a loss of words, my separated wife would probably pay a fortune to see that. So disclaimer, I hope you edit out my of the share for your podcast. With that being said, I felt, and I know I'm going over on time, but I'm able to collect my thoughts, and I really do want to share something. I have my entire life, none of us, and those of you in 3A who know me, I'm kind of repeating the same spiel. None of us decide who our parents are, what, like where we're born, who our friends are, what our environment is, what our belief structure is, what our socioeconomic status is, what our religion is, and what our education is, right? But it doesn't matter because each one of us shares this one common thread that makes us equal in this room. And that's powerful. And I have always felt like the thorn on the thorn of the rose. Why do I say that? Because I am born in one of the most affluent areas on earth. I'm born into a faith that I didn't choose and I stepped away from because I was ashamed to say that I was one. And when I started to suffer from peripheral neuropathy, I opened the book after they broke my legs for the 6th time to be like, what the fuck are you guys doing? I'm tired of trading stocks on Wall Street. I'm going to pick up Grey's Anatomy, the book, not the television series, and learn about the foot, learn about the legs, learn about the bone. Long story short, rooms like this need to exist. Why? Because I'm the thorn on the thorn. I'm a Muslim. I'm an addict. I'm in recovery. My wife took my daughter and she called me hideous, and I am, or I was, because I've grown from that person. And these rooms kind of need to exist because I was the thorn on the thorn on the thorn when I was going to churches for AA meetings. And it doesn't matter what you believe in. We're all swimming in the same atmosphere pressure, right? And we're all bathing and basking under the same sun. And a lot of you give me inspiration and hope. And my dry date is October 19, 2020. I hope to start getting sober soon. Thanks for letting me share and go over.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's it. That is all the shares that we have for the meeting tonight.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. We really, truly, I know I'm like a broken record, but y'all call me Chatty Natty, so I can't be. We appreciate you guys showing up every single week, sharing, especially, you know, we share some really vulnerable stuff in this meeting, and it's a really cool thing to be a part of and feel comfortable enough for one another to share those like intimate moments with each other that you would think that you would share with a family member, but we're all family because we all struggle with the same thing, and all we're doing is trying to get a little bit better every single day.
And that same thing that we struggle with is our brain, man. That this thing in between our ears, you know, and it wants us crazy. It wants us dead. And you know what? We have a solution today.
Yeah.
You know, and that solution is unity. We're strong in numbers.
Stronger together. That's right.
Yeah, stronger together. So thank you guys for showing up every week.
Yes.
Thanks for allowing us to go over and letting everybody share.
Yeah.
And
hanging
you know,
in
and
there,
hanging
staying
in
on.
there. I know some people. We got people on.
People got work. People got to go to bed.
Yeah, people got to go to
Coast.
bed.
We're on
Yeah.
the West Coast right now.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
like
got back over here, and I'm like,
7:30 for us.
over.
But you know, so thank you guys.
Yes.
If everybody can for a minute, just like 30 seconds, turn on your camera.
Oh yeah, let's dance out real
Our
quick.
our wonderful Emily is going to push a button in just a second. As soon as everybody puts their hands up in the air, up like this. Ready? All right, God, grant me the serenity
sorry.
Go ahead. To accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
We love you
Amen.
guys.
See you guys next week.